भगवान श्री योगी रामसूरतकुमार की
जय।
सर्वं योगी रामसूरतकुमारार्पणमस्तु। பகவான் பெருங்கருணையோடு I'm sorry. It's Bhagwan's bestowal of a huge grace that we are able to be here every day, both morning and evening. We assemble wherever we are and are able to join together to sing the name. How much do we owe to him for this? Every day. How is it possible except for Bhagwan's grace? We shall pranam to him again and again and again for this continuous remembrance of Bhagwan. Today we shall have another glimpse of Bhagwan's grace. We all of you have been receiving Bhagwan right in your drawing room every day, both morning and evening. This Murthy of Bhagwan, this was done in Dindugal under the supervision of Professor Tinnappan in the factory of Shiva Subramanian. Now we shall hear his son Maharajan stories, experiences with Bhagwan. His father, Shiva Subramanian, they are running a factory there in Dindugal. It's called Mani's Alloys. Shiva Subramanian, the proprietor, the whole family was planning to go to Tirupati. On their way, they stopped at Tiruvannamalai. The driver of the car mentioned Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar's name, the popular name, Visiri Swami, and told them, now that we have come here, please go see this Swami. Shiva Subramanian was already very devoted to the Mahatmas. So when he come to know there was another Mahatma he had not yet met, he was all enthusiasm. Immediately he rushed to the shops to buy something that Bhagwan would like. It was in 1987, the morning 10:30, the whole family went there with the offerings, knocked at the door, and Bhagwan came out, opened the gate and said, "Come in." He blessed them all very nicely, which made a deep impression in the heart of Sri Shiva Subramanian. So much so, he became a devotee of Bhagwan. He built a new house and named it Ramji Illa. He bought a car, he bought a lorry, a truck, and named it Ramji Transport. Now after this, the first day they were taking this lorry out. When it started, there was a neem tree right outside the house. A branch was protruding. It was dark early morning and they did not see it properly. And suddenly the branch of this neem tree was clashing. The lorry was dashing against it. With the result, the branch, that particular branch of the neem tree right in front of their house, it damaged the first letter of Ramji Transport. Naturally, the family was upset that just when they were going to take it, that this should happen, and there was a damage to the name of Bhagwan. So, on the spot, Sri Shiva Subramanian said, "We have to cut it off, this branch which had come in the way and damaged the name of Bhagwan here. We should cut it off." He was only telling those few people of his family members. His family people, he was telling them spontaneously, and they did not make any effort to employ anybody to cut it. He merely said, and after that they set about doing their daily work. But the next day, when they took it up, they saw a 25-year-old youth cutting the branch. They were very surprised because they did not tell anybody. Shiva Subramanian said it spontaneously and to those few of his family members. He never arranged for it. But then, the next day morning, they found a youth unknown to them, cutting it off with great care. And then they looked for him. They thought, okay, after the work was over, they would make enquiries. But as soon as he cut it off, he disappeared. Much as they searched, they could not find him. They understood it was Bhagwan's grace, Bhagwan's arrangement. The compassionate Bhagwan had done something about it. Shiva Subramanian was also a partner in Madurai Steels. he had to go to Chennai about this business for something. And there in Chennai, all of a sudden he developed stomach pain. It was no ordinary stomach pain. He was unable to bear it anymore, and he was screaming in pain. And then some doctor there in Chennai gave a letter of recommendation to Madurai, Vadamalayan Hospital. So they were bringing him from Chennai to Madurai. On the way, despite all that stomach ache and his screaming, he felt, Shiva Subramanian felt, the presence of somebody there. He could distinctly feel the presence of Bhagwan there. And then he was admitted, he was rushed to this Vadamalayan hospital in Madurai, and an emergency operation was done on him. The next day, when he regained consciousness, he looked around. He was looking for somebody. And he asked everyone around, "Where is he?" He was here with his green turban and dirty clothes. He was here by my side. He was there with me all along from Chennai to Madurai. And then during the operation also I saw him sitting here. He has been with me all along. Where is he now? Did you see him? And they said there was no such person, possibly. Even if there was, he could not sit with him during the operation. How is that possible? And then they all understood it must have been Bhagwan. What an experience for Shiva Subramanian. The very cause of suffering, the very disease which caused all this development, became a blessing to him, because he could distinctly see the presence of Bhagwan even while coming in the ambulance from Chennai to Madurai, and when he was being rushed to the hospital Vadamalayan, and the operation, emergency operation was being done, and he was enjoying the presence of Bhagwan there. What an experience. After that, his bhakti, his devotion to Bhagwan became even deeper than before, and he was determined to start a worship group of Bhagwan. He kept a photo of Bhagwan there in his house and did some puja, some initial puja there, and they had arranged for a formal celebration in a mandap nearby. The initial puja was being done in his house itself. After everybody left for the mandap for the celebration of starting inauguration of the worship of Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan by devotees, they made a structure, and it was the inauguration of the structure. And only the three of them were there, Shiva Subramanian, and then engineer Satyanarayan, and there was another one, an engineer. The three of them were coming last. But suddenly, all the three saw a blue light coming from the eyes of Bhagwan. So imagine the presence of Bhagwan, how much they should have worshipped, how much devotion must have been there to invite such scenes. It's not possible. Ordinarily, it's not possible at all. It takes a lot of deep devotion to invite the presence of Bhagwan in an extraordinary form. And people knew that as soon as the ashram started, I think in 1905, Bhagwan's Murthy, Shri Kalasadhar and Radhagopal had come, and he was given Murthy. Shri Kalasadhar and Radhagopal had come, and he was given the assignment of getting Bhagwan's Murthy done. He was sculpting Bhagwan's Murthy. After that, it had to be cast in the 5 metals, a combination of 5 metals for worship. So the sculptor there, he wanted this to be done right in the ashram, in the presence of Bhagwan. This melting of the 5 metals and casting it in the mold for the final Murthy. So when the sculptor begged Bhagwan for allowing this to be made right in the campus of the ashram, Bhagwan said no, it has to be done only in Dindugal. So there in Dindugal, under the supervision of Professor Thinnappan and Sri Tangaraj, in the factory of Sri Shiva Subramanian, Mani's Alloys factory, the statue was made. And then they were going to bring it to Tiruvannamalai. They had asked Bhagwan, and Bhagwan said yes. Bhagwan made one condition, that the statue should not be worshipped there. They should not show any arati there. They should not garland the statue. It should be open, it should be covered, and it should be open only in the presence of Bhagwan, and no worship of any kind to be done. As soon as the statue started from the Dindugal, I believe there was a heavy rain there in Dindugal. A heavy rain at the end of any work is highly auspicious. So they were all very happy that it brought rain, that Bhagwan's Murthy was made, and he was starting for Tiruvannamalai Ashram. And this rain, they were considered as blessings from the Devatas, from the heavens. Now you see, this Murthy is well installed here in the ashram, and for the past 20 years, in the absence of Bhagwan's physical body, the Murthy is serving. And there is such a beautiful smile on his face. And Bhagwan said, do not think that this Murthy is a statue. It is verily my father. It is the Murthy of my father. He lives here. This beggar lives here in this Murthy. You can see even the change of expressions on the face, which we do every day. Now in 1996, Shri Shiva Subramanian attained the lotus feet of Bhagwan, and of course it was such a great loss for the family. His wife was unable to bear it, the bereavement. She was crying so much, and finally they decided to come and see Bhagwan. So when they reached the ashram, it was about 7:30 in the morning, and Bhagwan called them, made them sit right in the front with him. And then Shiva Subramanian's wife was crying, saying, but when Bhagwan seated them, he asked his wife, Shiva Subramanian's wife, to be seated first. And when Maharajan sat next to her, Bhagwan said, no, you leave that space. So, leaving one space, he sat there, he got seated, and then next to him his brother, and next to him his sister. Now Maharajan was wondering why Bhagwan allowed that space between him and his mother. He could not follow. But then what happened in the next few minutes gave him a very clear idea of what Bhagwan was doing. Because his mother complained to Bhagwan, Swami, why did he go? We are unable to bear the loss. He left her just like that and went away. And she started to cry. Bhagwan said, he has now come to the place where he belongs. Do not think that he has gone away. He has come to the place where he truly belongs. Amma, he is with this beggar. Please don't worry. Don't cry. He is with this beggar. He has come to this beggar. He is with this beggar. And then Bhagwan said, right now he is here, Amma. He is with us. He is here. Right now. And the way he said it, Maharajan knew instantly that his father was physically present, and the space that Bhagwan wanted them to allot next to his mother was where his father was sitting. He could not see his father, but he knew that Bhagwan had called him, that father was with Bhagwan, and happily at that, and that Bhagwan had summoned him to the place to sit next to his wife, though the wife was not aware of it. But now they all understood. And what was more, after that, Bhagwan began to sing Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guruvaya. He sang for 10 minutes, which quietened all this, the turbulence in the mind of Shiva Subramanian's wife. She must have been suffering terribly. The whole family felt the vacuum left behind by their father. And Bhagwan singing for 10 minutes, Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guruvaya, soothed their burning hearts. And she became, after that, very quiet. She was filled with peace. And here is an assurance from Bhagwan. Now we all know the words that came straight from Bhagwan himself. A devotee, any devotee who is very devoted to Bhagwan, who is chanting his name in life, when he leaves the body, Bhagwan says, he has come to me. He has come to the place where he belongs. He is with me. Bhagwan had also given an assurance, promise. He gave it to me. He said, those who chant this beggar's name know that in the last moment, this beggar would come in person, sit by their side and take them by hand. They would not have to suffer the pain of death, the fear of death. This beggar would be seen by them. And take them by hand. What an assurance. What a blessing. We feel so insecure even while living. Now here is Bhagwan giving an assurance for life after we leave the body. Which means even while we are living, He is with us, looking after us, doing what is needful. It doesn't mean we don't have our share of joys and sorrows. There will be sorrows. There will be difficulties, problems in life. But we should remember that Bhagwan is with us. We should sing His name. We should chant His name. He lives in His name 1000%. The minute you call out Yogi Ramsuratkumar, He is there with you. He is there with us. When you write Yogi Ramsuratkumar in a letter or anywhere, the minute you write Yogi Ramsuratkumar, He is present. And the rest of the work or the rest of the writing that you do is only in His presence. It is not that He is not present, we lack the awareness. It's because we lack in faith. If we have this faith, it would become a truth for us, that Bhagwan being with us all the time, helping, guiding and protecting. So let's always remember Bhagwan's assurances to us, Bhagwan's word to us, so that we go about our life with a feeling that we are doing everything in His presence. Rather, we are tools in His hand and He is doing everything through us. We shall submit our prayers today at the feet of Bhagwan.